right, Michael, what did you buy from Think Geek?
I didn't. It was actually bought for me.
Oh.
Bag of Holding Con Edition.
Very nice.
It's actually really spiffy. It's a good bag. I strongly recommend it. I was hoping originally when it was ordered that it would hold my MacBook. It is a little too small. Mm-hmm. It's like an inch too small.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's still a badass bag. It's got good space. It's got a pocket in the back, pockets and linings on the inside. Like I could stick my DSX in here. I could stick, other stuff in here. It's got the pocket in the front. And what's really cool, this plastic thing right here.
Uh-huh.
If I were to stick my iPad in it, I could operate it through it.
Very nice. So it stays in one spot.
It's capacitive plastic.
Very nice.
And it's got plenty more pockets than you know what to do with. It's the Bag of Holding Con Edition.
Speaking of stuff we have no idea what to talk about, welcome to From My Mother's Basement.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Your celebration of everything geek. I am Jason.
And I am Michael, geeking out over my new bag.
And it is a very nice bag indeed.
But it was a gift, and thank you to the person who gave it to me. It's really good. I'm really glad that they got it for me, and I'm looking forward to using it.
Nice,
it's
very nice.
Pretty spiffy.
So I take it you had an enjoyable week, a fun Valentine's Day?
Yes and no. There were parts of it that were really cool, like the Valentine's gifts and whatnot that were exchanged between myself and Nikki. But unfortunately, I had a doctor's appointment Friday where I had to have some outpatient surgery stuff done. And I'm still recovering, and so I'm a little loopy. I've deliberately not taken my meds so that I'm not stoned.
Aw, that was a fun episode.
I am kind of out of it, so if I seem a little distracted, I apologize.
No worries.
That I should be fully recovered by next week.
Very cool. Well, at least you'll be able to enjoy it afterwards.
That is one way to put it.
Enjoy your 3DS.
You'd have to ask Shadar how it was Friday night in guild chat. It was amusing. Enough of that.
I had a very low key week, low key Valentine's Day, which was perfectly fine. We made some some handmade cards. I do have to share one that just made because it's relevant to geekdom because it's all over the internet. It's become its own meme within 10 minutes of the halftime show performance.
Is it the Cube one?
No. It is this one.
Oh my god.
I may be the left shark of the relationship, but I'm the right shark for you.
Oh my god. Have you seen the one floating around that's got Cube? It's pink background with Cube on it. It says, "Did you make a contract? Because that ass is magical."
Oh, there are so many like horribly awesome and bad ones out there. So
yeah, there was some really cute ones this week.
But I was able to do something, and I'll give a review of it at the end of the episode. But I was able to go see Kingsman last night.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I am envious.
But enough about that. We will get to that later on. Let's get to the big news that came out the past week. Something that was rumored for a long time. Something that
finally happening. It's about goddamn time.
It was leaked out during the massive, Sony leak. Apparently, they actually are still going to go through with it. Sony and Marvel has finally struck a deal to where Spider-Man will be showing up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And it's about damn time.
It's so about time.
Have you seen the commercial? There was a cartoon. I forget who posted it, where Spidey's just sitting there crying, and the Avengers are around going, "It's okay, we actually have money here." And he's like, "I know, I'm so happy."
Well, it's funny you mentioned the thing about the money is in the terms of the deal that were released. So Spider-Man will be partially overseen by Kevin Feige. He'll be the executive producer of all Spider-Man films from now on.
As it should be.
So that's smart. Amy Pascal, who's leaving her head job at Sony position, will also be a producer on that. So I guess that's one of her projects.
Okay.
But
they threw her a bone.
Here's the thing, though. For every Spider-Man appearance in an MCU movie, in a Disney-released movie, Sony will receive $0 in terms of revenue. Vice versa, every standalone Spider-Man movie from now on, Disney gets $0. but they have the.
That's actually a fair trade. But
It
how
is.
long does it? Is this like this? Disney can't have been stupid enough to do this in perpetuity.
No,
because their original contract runs out in what 2025,
something like that. Yeah, they haven't stated exactly how far this is going to go or how far outreaching this is, but look at it this way: you have Civil War happening next year. There's a good chance that you're going to see Spider-Man in that now. The next, they want to reboot the Spider-Man series, so Andrew Garfield's out. But they've already set a release date for a new movie, which is July 28th, 2017. So
now, is it going to come from Marvel or is it going to come from Sony?
That one's going to come from Sony. So
but it's going to be overseen by Marvel.
Exactly. Marvel's going to have a little bit more in the creative reins department on that. So
Good.
It's going to show up more so in the MCU. Does this mean there's a door open for future ties with
oh
X-Men?
My God. Have you read what HPL put in the chat? Spider-Man does whatever the producers want. Can he reboot every year? Why the hell not? The property's hot. Look out. Here comes another Spider-Man. Okay, it doesn't quite scan perfectly, but it works.
Massive props to HPL in the chat. And it's very true. This will be the third Spider-Man universe reboot cinematic-wise in less than 10 years.
Well, what's really sad is I liked the Raimi version with Maguire.
Right.
I liked it up till movie 3.
Movie 3, yeah. A lot of people.
Movie 3 when Venom made him all emo. Oh my! That's when it just tanked. But movie 1 and 2 were good. I enjoyed them, and I thought that their take. I mean, I was kind of pissed off that they killed him, but their take on Doc Ock, or Doc Ock, having him played by the oh God, what's the damn actor's name? I forget the actor's name, but I mean, good. Fantastic actor, great choice in casting.
I just look at it though as this is great for having Spider-Man in the MCU,
which is where it needs to be. Now Fox would just get off its ass and make a similar deal.
Time will tell, because now you wonder, with Spider-Man now in the mix, as so to speak. What does that mean for all the Spider-Man villains? What does this mean about the Spider-Verse? Do we even go into that with the MCU?
Well,
the Sinister Six,
Alfred Molina, thank you very much, HPL. This it depends. Is the Spider-Verse current canon with the general Marvel verse? Because I mean, you can have tied together. I mean, if they're going to be in the MCU proper, then that's all one contiguous universe to the best of my knowledge. So yes, anything done in the MCU is legit, but or consistent,
right?
Which is why I think Fox, they need to get off their butt, and Fox needs to stop being a douchebag and work something out there, because the Civil War, the whole thing about Civil War was basically mutant rights,
right?
And even bringing the Inhumans into the game doesn't cut it.
Which is still fairly early on in terms of what they've already planned out.
Right.
Especially because with this announcement, everything that was planned to come out in 2017 from Disney was pushed back at least a year. So Inhumans is probably not going to be out to like 2018, 2019.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see how they write it into S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not to mention, they've already made the announcement that the MCU version of the events of Civil War are going to be drastically different from what happened in the comics, which kind of makes sense. You took this entire event that spanned every single character from the
every title,
from the comic universe into one massive event, and you're going to shut that down to what, maybe 2.5 hours?
Well, no, and that's the thing is they're not going to do it in 2.5 hours. If they're smart, they'll do what they did in the comics, where there will be a portion of the story that focuses around Stark and his involvement, and that'll be that issue of Iron Man. Then you'll have stuff going on with Cap, and that'll be that branch of Captain America. Then you'll have stuff going on with I don't know how the Guardians are going to tie into this, but I'm sure they'll find a way. That'll be their title, and then Avengers will be where everything culminates. Spidey will have his thing, Ant-Man will have his thing.
All I'm saying is,
but they can spread it across several movies.
They can, And with the ever-present rumor that somehow the Guardians will eventually make its way to Earth, and that there's gonna be some sort of massive fight with a team up between the Avengers, whatever form it is at that time, and the Guardians. I'm just waiting for a scene with the Guardians chilling with Tony Stark in his in one of his major locations, sitting down
After
watching.
Gamora's giving him the cold shoulder for not being able to perform to her
Oh god,
expectations.
that scene was so damn good in the comics.
And Rocket's giving him shit over it. Go on.
There's gonna have to be some sort of reference to Kevin Bacon in there somewhere, given the whole scene that happened within Guardians of the Galaxy. That was referenced later on, near the end, like Gamora going, "We're just like Kevin Bacon." There's got to be some sort of reference in there in the future.
Well, and that's really funny because if they do get Fox on board, Bacon is effectively responsible for bringing out Magneto's powers in First Class. So,
God, that'd be hilarious.
It would be
so good, so good.
I hope. I mean, Sony penning this deal with Disney gives me hope.
Same,
but I know Fox is a bunch of a-holes, so
they're gonna hold out for something bigger, something not as quid pro quo. Nothing like I'm gonna give you something equal to what I'm receiving. It's gonna be more along the lines of how much can we screw Disney on this for as much money as possible for the longest run. I could see Fox,
which is funny because they kept screwing themselves with their titles. I mean,
oh yeah, completely.
I mean, X-Men 1 was good. X-Men 2 was good. First Class was good. Days of Future Past was good, though not the book. I'm hoping Deadpool will be good, but
HPL,
Wolverine was crap.
HPL makes a good point in the chat. He states, I'm against X-Men folding into the MCU. Fox is doing good things with the property and doesn't need to be diluted. Plus, how would they reconcile Quicksilver in both versions?
Change the name of one of them.
I would honestly say if a deal was struck between Fox and Disney, or by some hopeful cause of the cosmos happening,
some planetary alignment,
something, that Disney reacquires all the rights back away from Fox.
Well, that's what I keep hoping. I mean, what's sad is I want Deadpool to succeed so bad.
So bad.
But if it does, it's going to be a shot in the arm for the Marvel franchise on Fox.
Side note on that, we know the release date is a year away because Ryan Reynolds tweeted this photo, the first shot of them working on the prototype mask for Deadpool. And
see that pic.
He's gone on and on about how because it's such a low budget flick relatively to everything else out there, that it gives him more creative freedom. Plus, he said because he's using a sepia tone filter, that mask is actually bright pink.
It's not going to be bright pink.
No, it's not. But it's him joking around with it.
I hadn't seen that image.
Okay, he tweeted it I think like a day or so ago.
Nice.
But I was going to say, if by any either a deal is reached or Disney reacquires the rights, everything that's been happening so far with the X-Men movies would be kind of what Disney did to the extended universe in Star Wars. Chop it off with a chainsaw. That never truly happened. We're going to start over and recast the whole thing.
Or alternate. I mean, Earth 1, Earth 2, nothing new.
True.
Pardon me for didn't mean to rhyme that, but and it's like what HPL's point is legit. It's that is a way they could go with it, and you wouldn't have to worry about reconciling the two Quicksilvers.
Right.
I just like the idea that the mutants and the heroes hang out in the same universe.
And you also could possibly run into the problem of when you try to bring so many major titles, all their different movies together in one cinematic universe, not only would the crossovers would be absolutely epic, I will not doubt that in the least, but trying to create a cohesive universe, the cinematic universe, to dealing with all of these major titles, villains, and world-shattering or sometimes universe-shattering events. How do you? Yeah. You can get away with that fairly easy with some planning in the comics, but in the cinematic universe, that's a lot to consider.
Well, and very rapidly, Warner Brothers is going to hit that same wall. I mean, you kind of have to go with the alternate universe theory,
Right.
because you have to, it'll be Earth Fox and Earth Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Earth D, it'll be Earth F and Earth D. It's and people love the D. So
You had to throw that in there.
by the way, is my visuals as cloudy to you as it is on my side?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so I'm coming through clear.
Yeah.
Okay, on my side you're not, but that's
Ah.
okay. Don't worry about it. As long as it's coming through for everybody watching, it's okay.
Mm. Well,
But yes, it's a good sign, and I'm glad that Deadpool's finally happening.
Oh,
and
yes.
thank you, Sony, for not being douchebags.
Yes, very much so. This works out. I think it's the best option they could have done. Allow the character to survive with both studios. Keep it in the same cinematic universe, and let each studio rake in their own money, without worrying about sharing the profits everywhere. So I think
Yeah,
that's the best way to do it.
but the, you've got the whole mutate argument going too. So
You're gonna get to that eventually, anyways.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it'll be mutants versus the Age of Miracles, and we'll see what happens from there.
yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Shall we move on to a bunch of trailers that were recently released?
Yes.
We're going to show two of them. I just want to make note of a couple beforehand. There's this one coming out called Focus. This, I don't know what to expect from this one. It's basically another high stakes robbery, featuring Will Smith. And given the fact that someone's giving him a chance after the abomination that was After Earth, um,
Will Smith is a decent actor, and he's
he
had a
is a
lot
decent
more
actor.
popular properties than he has bad properties.
This is very true. But I don't know if we really.
I mean, for one, I loved Hancock. I know a lot of people shredded it. Critics hated it. I loved it.
I was kind of on the fence. I was kind of meh about it. There were some enjoyable moments with it, but overall, I thought it was a pretty weak
I thought the
execution.
concept of Hancock, the whole concept of it was really good.
The concept was great. Yes, I'll agree with you with that. With this one, Will Smith will be teaming up with Margot Robbie, or Robbie, however you say her last name. This is gonna be, like, I guess, her big film before she takes on the role of excuse me, of Harley Quinn for the Suicide Squad movie. So
Oh, wait a minute. So they're going to be in this movie together, and then they're going
yes.
to turn around and. Oh my god.
Yeah. This one will be coming out very quickly, February 27th in U.S. theaters. Another one that's going to be coming out is actually Hitman, Agent 47, based on the hit video game franchise. This movie has been in the works for quite a long time.
Yeah, but the other Hitman movies, I've seen the trailer for this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a lot of fun combat
Yeah.
and some cool effects, but I suspect the story's going to be weak as crap. I don't know. They may surprise me.
I'm kind of hoping it'll be better, more well received than the last time this was adapted into a movie.
Well, they get points for having Zachary Quinto in it.
Yeah, I'll give him props for that.
Because I happen to like Zachary Quinto a lot, but in fact, I hope they pull him into the new Heroes reboot. But that's a whole other topic.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that Sylar isn't dead. But anyway,
it's going to be a popcorn flick one way or the other.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
expecting.
going to be a total popcorn flick.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be style over substance. But with a movie like this, I'm perfectly fine with, especially for the fact that this latest cinematic version is actually being directed by a guy named Alexander Bach, this is his first feature-length movie. Everything else he's directed before this have been music videos. So definite style over
thing
substance.
with video game movies, I've noticed.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good
Uwe
trend.
Boll started the same way.
Yeah, that's not a good trend.
Fortunately, people stopped giving him money.
Yeah, so we have a ways to wait for this one. That one's also coming out by Fox. That one comes out August 28th of later this year. But we have two to show right now, and let's go with the one that's gonna be the big budget one.
You can do 25 first or 28?
We're going to do 28. This is going to be the trailer for...
do 25 first.
Want to do 25 first?
End on a high note.
Okay. Let's go with the absolute batshit crazy one first then. All right.
Yes, let's do that.
So, we all know Samuel L. Jackson is a badass, and he is great in almost every single movie he is in, regardless of how crappy the script is. This one is a bit out there. It's not as out there as he's done before, but he's playing the president this time. So... it's called Big Game, and let me just play the trailer because this one's just, yeah.
Huh? Was this by the same people who did Iron Sky?
No, it is not.
Oh my god!
Yes, the president is shot down.
Freaking cheese fest.
Oh yes. It is so good. It's so, well, let me phrase that. It is so bad, so laughably bad, it's going to be good.
15 steroid shots up. I mean, it's...
So you have Sam Jackson, President of the United States, in Air Force One, being shot down and...
rescued by some Slavic kid in the middle of the Black Forest or wherever.
He's out hunting as part of his coming-of-age tradition of his tribe. And so you have all these assassins coming after them, and the unlikely pair must team up so they both can survive. Oh, yes.
The only thing this is missing is Jackie fucking Chan. Oh, my God.
Oh, I think we might have a contender for Snakes on the Plane.
Yeah, the replacement of Snakes on a Plane, yeah. Well, it points to Jackson for not taking himself seriously, because he obviously is doing this one for the ride. Mm-hmm. He's doing it for the fun or the money, one of the two. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, when you first started showing me this, I'm like going, "What is this going to be like?" His character was in Spirit, which actually wasn't that, which actually was kind of enjoyable. Yeah, no, I if that trailer is anything near accurate, I'm going to say Popcorn Fest. You're right. You are 100% right on that.
Oh yes. This started making the...
Don't worry, Mr. President. I got this. Really, kid? Okay.
So here's the thing.
Let's take out an RPG with a crossbow. Why not?
Here's the thing, though. We know this movie is coming stateside. We have no idea how soon. This premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival last year. After that premiered in Finland, of all places.
Makes sense, because that's probably where it was shot.
Yeah. It's being distributed all across Europe. It has been picked up for U.S. Release.
Nice.
Has not been confirmed when that's going to be happening, but it has to be relatively soon, I'm hoping. Because this one, come on, that just looks so bad. I'm going to have so much fun throwing popcorn at the screen because it's going to be that
Oh, yeah,
bad.
totally. I mean, and if it goes straight to disc or whatever, we need to pick it up. You need to come up here. We need to mix up a bucket of margaritas and have a good time.
It's going to be so absurd. It's going to be awesome.
Or better yet, we can do an online hosted thing where we'll all sync up our YouTubes or our Netflix.
That works.
We'll all watch it together and we'll just comment in the chat room all night.
I like it. It works well for me.
Oh. Yes, President Banff. How may we help you?
Oh, awesome.
Or we'll live tweet it. There you go.
There you go. Let's go with this other one. This one is going to be a high-profile title here in the States. It is an adaptation of a 1960s TV series.
60s and 70s.
But that one was campy and cheesy, but still so fun. So fun. And I think just by going at the trailer, they get the gist that it's going to be just as fun. Hopefully.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. From the trailer so far that I've seen, it's going to be, I think they're following the right vein.
Yes. We're talking about The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Enjoy.
Okay. Couple things. And I'm apparently echoing. Okay. So, one, looks like it's going to be an absolute blast. Two, he goes from playing Superman to playing Napoleon Solo.
Oh, yeah.
They picked the right... I mean, he can do it, obviously. He's a little over-the-topping it a little more than the original actor did, but not a lot.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I think Henry Cavill can play it perfectly fine, and then have, on the opposite side, Armie Hammer
Yeah.
play the Russian spy
Kiryakin.
Kiryakin.
Yeah. Well, do you know where the actor who played the original Kiryakin is today? What he's doing?
No, I do not.
He's Ducky on NCIS.
No shit.
That's Ilyana, the original actor who played Ilyana Kiryakin. Is Ducky. But yeah. So when I saw when I don't remember if it was you who sent it to me or no, I think it was Shadar sent it to me. And I saw this trailer last week. I was just there the other night. I was just like, oh my god, I cannot wait for this to come out. I'm really looking forward to it.
Especially with who is the co-writer and director of this, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie's done some pretty amusing stuff.
Yes.
And he's done some really good stuff.
Now, granted, from everything that I can tell in the trailer and what I've read online, this is not going to be Guy Ritchie like a la Rock and Rolla style. Because, I mean, that was getting way out there. This is probably more closer to like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels kind of thing.
Well, and that kind of fits. I mean, they're not doing it... I think it's going to be closer to the original than a lot of... Well, okay, I figure it's going to be a lot closer to the original than the I Spy remake was. I mean, I like Owen Wilson and I like Eddie Murphy, but they could have done a lot better. The original series is a lot of fun, actually. It's dated because of when it was done, but it still holds up pretty well today. I don't know if you've ever seen the original.
I have, yes. I have. And I will say that some people, like I've talked to a few people who've never seen the original TV series, and they were like, "Oh, it's in the '60s. It's gonna be just like Austin Powers." I'm like, "No,
not even close."
Austin Powers in the
was
60s,
a send up of this.
Yes, and it was also designed to be more of a comedy, to have poke fun at everything. This is almost like escapism, for like the '60s spy, and just having fun at the theater.
And that's what a lot of those series were. I mean, between you had Man from U.N.C.L.E., you had I Spy, you had Avengers, you had movies like Flint, the Flint series. This was all riding on the wave of the James Bond hit.
Right.
Once James Bond took off with Dr. No and From Russia with Love and on forward from there, that lit the fire. And that's when you got things like, then you got the Avengers, Man from U.N.C.L.E., blah, blah, blah. Get Smart. Get Smart was the original send-up.
Right.
But that's what these were about. These were about just having a good time with some decent story, but deliberately campy. Until you got to things like The Prisoner, which had some camp, but actually had some pretty deep story in there.
Yes. It was like, okay, we're going to focus a little farther away from just good time. We're actually going to give you something you can, bite your teeth into.
We're going to mess with your head. Is what we're going to do.
Exactly. So
yes, I am greatly looking forward to this movie.
That one should be a lot of fun. And
he's going to go from this into beating Batman's ass. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So we get to see this one also in August of
yes.
So
August is going to have a lot of good movies.
Oh, it is. All right, well, let's get to what's going on in New York right now, which is ToyFair 2015. This is... you could be a kid in a candy store with this, of all ages, because this is basically where they showcase the latest toys for the next year, for everything from child development stuff to the latest action figures and everything in between. We're just going to pick just a couple things that we've noticed real quick. Let's do with something from Hasbro and from Star Wars. So if you've ever been to any of the Disney theme parks where they have a Star Wars ride, and they automatically dump you from the ride into the store, obviously almost every ride does, and there's a section there to build your own lightsaber. Well, it looks like Hasbro wants to bring this to home, basically. They announced this new setup. They're calling it the Blade Builder set. Be available at a variety of price points. And so the base model, the Jedi Master lightsaber, is $50. It includes all the extension hilts and all the lights and sounds. You can add.
So you two can make your own Swiss Army saber.
Oh yes. And I'm fully expecting some ridiculous ones out there. Like there's just a couple ideas that some people are posting online already what you can make.
The shocker. Oh my god, it's the shocker.
I could make a total bad joke about Sith being in the
Oh,
back.
you
And
don't have to. The name alone does it. Oh my god!
they
Because
also
no
have
one
another one I
expects the
saw right
shocker.
here. That okay, that one's.
That one actually reminds me of oh god, Ezra's thing. I mean, it's got the 2 extra pointy bits, but it kind of reminds me of Ezra's saber in Rebels.
And then I saw this one here of I think maybe Raphael from the Turtles wants to jump into the Star Wars universe. Yeah.
Jedi Sai.
Yeah, so you can it's basically you buy the base set, you can buy all the extensions for extra bits for about $20 each. And yeah, it allows fans of all ages to create new ways to chop their own damn hands off.
Well, what's funny is if you look on the website
Mm-hmm.
for it, there's one where they basically started to build what looks like it could very easily become the lightsaber swastika.
Yes, yeah, I did see that. I was
Because
like,
if they had added 2 more of those joints
mm-hmm.
going the direction they had, they'd have had a lightsaber swastika.
Yeah. I
You will build your lightsaber now, and we shall then take it to take over the world and annihilate the. I mean, from the dark side of the moon. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
It's just wow.
Let's get to the other one real quick.
Yeah, let's look at something a little less cheese.
Yes, this one's from Sideshow Collectibles. They are always known for the ultra high-end, high-quality figures, busts, just any sort of collectible that you could want. They've probably made it, and it's probably well outside of your price range.
Well, some of them, it depends.
Some of
Like
them
their
are.
Hot Toys are.
Yeah. But they've announced a new lineup based on Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm game, and where they're going to create a bunch of collectible figures for it. And these are going to be within most people's price range. So this looks to be I'm guessing, what do you think, $100 each, maybe less or something like that?
Well, I need to see what their articulation is, but
Yeah.
based on the quality of it, the paint job they did on Ghost is pretty good,
Yes.
but I'm thinking, I don't think it's gonna be like their regular Hot Toys where it's 150 plus. I'm thinking you're probably looking at about the 70-80 range, to be honest.
Which will still cost
because if you remember their World of Warcraft figures that they did,
right.
those were only like 30-40, and they had just as much, and in a couple cases, higher levels of detail. So depending on the levels of articulation they do in this, you're probably looking about, hell, I'd even go as low as 50 to 60.
That's probably it. I will say this though, even if you decide to go for the 50-60 price, or if they decide to go with 50-60 price point, to collect all of them is going to be ridiculously expensive, because as of right now, there are currently 34 heroes in the game, playable game.
Right, each with 4 or more skins.
Right, and Sideshow's already announced they're planning to make one for every single one of them. Plus, some of the more popular ones will get variants. And the best part about it, they're keeping it scale to everything else in game,
Which is nice.
Yeah, that's very nice there.
I kind of feel I'm resisting the urge to be like the one poster who put the picture of SpongeBob opening his wallet, going, "Just take my money."
Oh yeah, Blues is right here. I believe they're going to be actually releasing them 2 at a time. The first batch apparently is coming out this month. The next batch is coming out in early summer. The early summer one's going to be Nova and Illidan.
Nova and Illidan?
Yeah. Stitches is going to get released on his own as a deluxe figure. That's the only announcement they've created so far. But if they're planning on releasing one for every single
If they're doing one for every skin, there's a couple of the Kerrigan skins that are epic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, have you played Heroes of the Storm at all?
I got the invitation to join the beta.
The public beta.
I need to actually create a character.
Jump in it. It's basically it's Dota or League of Legends, Blizzard style.
Yeah, MOBA. So.
And it's a lot of fun, and they had a lot of fun with some of these outfits. I mean, for God's sake, Diablo. There's a version of Diablo that's mecha. There's another version of Diablo that rides on a Sparkle Pony unicorn.
Awesome.
And they just went and had fun with it.
I need to jump into it. I'll add it to my stuff to play, because in terms of entertainment, I've been fairly busy this week, which I'll get to soon. But yeah, these ones will be a definite collector item for many, many people.
Yeah, we don't have room for it, so we probably won't get many of them. I'm gonna have to be very picky as to which ones I get.
A couple other things real quick. First up, Funko. They always have a ton of stuff going on right now with pop vinyl, and they announced a bunch of stuff for like Ghostbusters and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I wanted to focus on just one segment real quick. Yes, they are bringing Doctor Who pop vinyls coming out this year. These things were
I like the
amazing.
Capaldi one. It's actually kind of. I mean, I'm not a big Pops fan, but that one's actually kind of cool.
I do like the Capaldi one. They have a couple others they're working on. There's gonna be a Dalek. There's gonna be a
the Weeping Angel. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's funny.
You'll also notice there's also gonna be keychain size versions of each of these characters available.
Yeah.
One that you'll probably want to pick up, Michael. You'll see it on the left side of this next one. Yes, the Fourth Doctor is getting one as well.
Oh, hells yeah. I am all about Tom Baker, yo.
There will also be a TARDIS that's big enough to fit one of the characters inside of it. And there's also going to be an Adipose.
Yay, Adipose.
And a Cyberman.
See, I would probably, out of that collection, I'd go for Tom Baker, Capaldi, the Adipose, and probably the Tenet and the Weeping Angel.
And these are going to come out starting this August. We're probably looking, if they're going to be the same price as they are right now, probably $10 to $15 each, depending on where you get them.
Probably, yeah.
So not that.
And there's going to be an SDCC exclusive version.
Oh yeah.
Which they will then turn around and re-release 2 years later as a non-exclusive.
Before we get to the essentially the what the fuck one, I do have to mention one real quick. That's a long time coming. It's coming from Nerf, of all places. You know that there's always that person that took a Nerf gun and modified it to actually fire something either really hard, really far, really fast, modify the ammo or something to make it enjoyable for the older
the CO2 powered one I've seen.
Yes. I know the Maverick revolver.
Repel it at significantly faster speeds.
I know that they had the Maverick one for a while. That was the big one that everyone liked to mod. It was a lot of fun for that one. But it looks like Nerf is actually... They're aware of this, and they actually want to include that if people are modifying the stuff for a more adult one, but they don't want to go to airsoft. Let's make something for them. So they announced a new range of Nerf blasters, which they're focusing on for high schoolers and young adults. They're calling it the Rival line. And here's the first ones we come out. These ones... heavily slightly different. They're not the darts that you're used to. They're 1-inch semi-hard foam rounds that can actually fire at 70 miles an hour.
No way.
Yeah.
They've clocked these things at 70.
They've clocked these things at 70 miles an hour. So you won't get welts, but you'll feel with a hit.
It's It's not going to welt you up, but it's only fun till someone loses an eye, and somebody will.
This model you're seeing on your screen right now is the Zeus MXV 1200 model. It's going to go for $50. Comes out later on this year. If you want something a little smaller than that, more compact, they have an Apollo version, which will cost half that much.
I'm sensing a theme.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that it's got Picatinny rail system on it. I'm just like, with that, you can modify a few of these and basically do a 3-barrel unit.
Oh, yeah. Now,
there's some fun there.
The other thing is that they've announced a new mod kit that you can buy. They had this was like the Nerf N-Strike modulus that you could buy. It was like $50, and you can actually modify it. It was designed to be modified. They're adding on a $15 add-on kit to change the dart gun roll to include all this other stuff.
Nice.
So I'm like, Office War is gonna be a lot more entertaining in the very near future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 70 miles an hour. I'm gonna have some fun.
I need to have some of these by mid. That's all I gotta say.
It's gonna be fun. Okay, let's get to this thing. Okay. Furbies.
Are you going to 43 or 41?
I think 43. I think the Furby one. So Furbies have been odd for the longest time, ever since they came out. I remember working Toys R Us. My first job at Toys R Us the year these came out and got popular. I remember walking into work Black Friday. We had probably a 6 foot high, 6 foot by 8 foot, just box of them right up front. And when we opened up, people started rushing through, pushing through, and whatnot. Someone tripped and dove right into the middle of all those boxes, scattered them everywhere. No one helped them out because they all wanted to grab a Furby for their own. Madness, absolute madness. And apparently, they want to hopefully recreate that by tapping into other technology and other franchises.
Well, as I say, the new version of it, the latest version of the Furby, it's actually a lot smarter than the original was.
It is.
It's actually got dual LCD screens.
You have an app that taps into it, so the tech is nice for a toy. I appreciate that.
It's improved.
But then they announced this thing. It's called the Furbaka.
So it is a legit. It's not a self mod. It's a legit.
It
release.
is a legit thing from Hasbro. Yes.
Oh my God.
It is a Chewbacca themed Furby.
Unless they changed its roar, unless they changed its sound, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, let me just play this video of it for you, so you can hear for yourself.
Me, Wookie. Okay, so it's trying to make this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There is a sadistic part of me that actually wants to get one. Note, I said sadistic, not masochistic, because there are people I want to inflict this upon.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that even the LCD eyes will be populated with pictures of X-Wing fighters and TIE fighters and Star Destroyers and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah.
The thing is, well, you remember the big fiasco when these things first came out, the original versions.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't bring them into the DoD because they were afraid it was going to record shit.
Oh yeah.
Which it didn't have the ability to do.
No.
It transmitted via light pulses, and all that crap was pre-programmed time release.
Mm-hmm.
But because I originally had the project, I think I've told you this story before, maybe I haven't. When the Furbies first came out, and they were basically hyping up what they could do when they actually couldn't.
Right.
But there was a whole talk about the idea that they actually learn and you could teach them, and that they would develop a personality based on how they were treated and algorithms and crap. We had the idea that we were going to make the Eric Cartman Furby. We were going to keep it in the dark, put it upside down. We were basically going to make this thing as tortured as we could make it, because I was a sick fuck at the time. And
as opposed to now.
And that, well, no, and we're going to take that and we were going to put it in a box with a bunch of brand new Furbies. So the other Furbies would be going, oh, miso, and I was like, fuck you. It was going to be the Eric Cartman Furby. Then I actually got one and started looking at it, and it didn't have even remotely the technology to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the new ones, and I've never gotten a clear defined answer on it, since the tech is a lot higher in them, can you access and code them?
Using the app, there's actually the ability to do some coding here and there. But I mean, we're talking very basic. Because of the fact that is available in there, yes, there's ways to hack this. I've hacked one of the original ones, so I'm sure this one.
Well, yeah, but that's very limited. I mean, you are so limited. I mean, the whole thing fits on a chip that's no bigger than my fingernail.
Oh yeah,
and it's covered in epoxy. I mean, I've dissected a few of them. I remember.
All I'm saying is, I just need access. I have an Android phone. I'll just start looking at the app and see what I can do with it. So.
I need to reverse engineer that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, this one is for all your sadistic needs is going to be coming out later on this year, this fall, for a whopping $80.
Ouch.
Yeah.
50 I'd pay. 80?
Yeah, that's so things to think about. I'm just like, yeah. All right. Well, Michael, before we wrap things up as we always do, what should we talk about? Should we talk about some Kotobukiya figures, or should we talk about the new Final Fantasy arcade game?
46, baby.
All right.
46.
So,
I have been waiting for this for a long,
oh yes.
long time.
Squeenix has always, they've had some great fighting games in the past that actually utilize some Final Fantasy classic Final Fantasy characters. What was it? Was
Dissidia
it
is a great game.
what was that?
Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy Dissidia was great.
Cydia was great. They had even before that Power Stone.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't Final Fantasy.
But
Yeah,
it
I
had
remember
some Final
Milestone.
Fantasy characters in it.
Right.
But yeah, so we have a new Dissidia for an arcade game of all things.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and just share the trailer with you. Yes, all the fanboys and girls out there can start squealing.
Oh yeah, and the fact that the characters they're bringing into this, like
Mhm.
Ishtola and all across the whole spectrum.
Oh yeah. HD graphics, group battles, characters from pretty much every single Final Fantasy game. All the way up to Final Fantasy 15. Oh yeah, this is going to be an amazing game. Now, as of right now, it's only been announced for Japanese arcades. But come on, how soon will it be before Squeenix announces a console port of this?
Well, and that's the thing is that's how Project Diva started.
Mm-hmm.
Project Diva started as an arcade game.
Arcade only.
Well, actually, that's not entirely true. It started as a PSP game, then it became an arcade
Oh, you're
game,
right. Yes, yes.
and then because I've got both of them, and then it became PS3, and now I think there's a PS4 version coming at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that this is going to hit arcades, it's only going to be so long until it's going to port, like you said, to PS4.
Because
And
nowadays you look at what the power of the home consoles can do is equal to the power you can get in an arcade machine. I mean, before it used
superior
to
in
be,
a couple cases.
very true. Now that gap used to be significantly wider in the past, but now I mean it wouldn't be that difficult, I wouldn't think, to port an arcade game over to like a PS4 or an Xbox One.
Well, no, not with the current level of next gen, with current gen technology, with the PS4 and the Xbone. It's Nintendo. Unfortunately, I love you to death, but you're still one gen behind.
Oh yeah.
But with the power that's in the PS4 and the Xbone, yeah, there's nothing that's. I mean, for all we know, these games may have one of those in its core.
Mm-hmm.
You may open the cabinet and there's a PS4.
It wouldn't really surprise me at all.
No, because they can generate 4K content.
Mm-hmm.
Which yes, please bring it. Take my money.
So we'll keep an eye on this and let you guys know when we hear more information. Maybe you start seeing some demos of it show up there online. So
can you say E3?
yeah, it's coming up. So a few more months away. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we need to get passes for that.
I'll try. So Michael, what have you been watching or reading or playing?
Well, since Friday, I've been playing predominantly Pokemon Omega Ruby.
How is that?
Because I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one of the 3DS XLs, the new ones.
Lucky bastard.
Oh my God, it's good. And so Nikki got Sapphire Blue, and I've got Omega Ruby, and we're gonna team them up, and then we're gonna kick each other's butts and swap legendaries.
Nice.
I also picked up Theater Rhythm. Speaking of Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Curtain Call, which is Square's take on a rhythm game, and it's really good. It's a lot of fun. The character designs remind me of the woman who did the original character designs for Small World, which I know you're gonna hear that and you're like, oh, it's actually really cute, and it's actually pretty funny. And and they've got some mechanics in there that are different. You know how most of your love, like for your Project Diva, and other rhythm games of that ilk, it's hit the thing on the time. Sometimes you have to hold the button. This one actually takes advantage of the 3DS in that that little slide thing. They've got you press the button, you hold the button, but also there's a option where it does this little wavy thing. So you hold the button, and while you're holding the button, you're moving the thumb slider to follow the path. and you have to follow. So you've got hold the button until it's time to release it, and then sometimes you'll hold the thumb. You have to release with an arrow instead, but you still have to follow this path as it's going along and hit all the points along, or you lose points.
Oh, very
I mean,
cool.
it's an interesting added mechanic that I haven't seen in a rhythm game before.
Okay.
And of course, it's all Final Fantasy music. It's epic.
I've played the demo. I wanted to pick one up, and with everything that's coming out for the new 3DS, you guys know I've been on the fence for over a year when to get the PS Vita or the 3DS. I think the 3DS is finally won out.
I haven't seen a lot on the Vita that, I mean, I still like them and I like the concept of them,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually maybe I will. But this, looking at the new specs, on the 3DS XL, or the new 3DS XL, I
Yeah.
should say, um, it was enough to make me say, okay, yeah, I'll bite that bullet and I'll do it. And I'm glad I did. The on the new one, and what's funny is the 3D on the new unit compared to the 3D on the old unit.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it doesn't give me a headache. I'm one of these lucky people that I could look at it and my eyes adapt and I'm fine.
Nice.
But the new one, they've got a tracker system in it to where you can, the angle of view before was 5 degrees total.
Mm-hmm.
You got your center line and then 2 or 3 degrees either way.
Right.
With the new one, you can only do this before. I could go like this
And
as far as range,
and it'll still track you.
and it'll because for the front facing camera, it's got a little LED, infrared LED that flashes periodically to track where you are. So it basically looks for roughly the head shape,
Nice.
and it says, okay, are you off to the side? Okay, let's adjust the screen to where they're over here. Let's adjust the screen to where, and you can watch it dynamically updating. They've executed the technology well.
Nice.
The other thing with the new XL is they've added 2 more shoulder buttons. So you've got the right and the left, like normal.
Right.
You've also got 2 that are in what they're calling the RZ and the LZ, or RZ, LZ, depending on where you're from. There aren't a lot of games that take advantage of that yet. Monster Hunter 4 is one.
Isn't that the first one that's going to be taking utilizing the new tech?
It's the first game. Well, and there's more to it. There's also a stronger processor. It's a faster system, and they added a C stick in the upper right corner. So, in fact, hang on one second. I will grab one and show you. Hold on.
Well, we have the image right here, up on the
Well,
screen.
I have the unit right here.
Ah, yes, you do.
So, okay, so if you look at it, in fact, that's the same color as the one I'm holding. So, hold on, let me shut it up. I forgot I had Pokemon in here. So, if you look at it, you've got 2 new buttons here.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got your main buttons here, and then you've got the 2 inside. And then on the inside, they've added this little C stick up here. There isn't a lot that takes advantage of that, like I said.
Right.
Currently, the only game that takes advantage of it is Monster Hunter. There's a new Zelda that's supposed to be coming out eventually that'll take advantage of it, and there are other, as time goes on, more of them are going to take advantage of it. Hey, we've got the processing power, let's use it.
Right.
It's also got the NFC, near field communications antenna for the Amiibo, which I don't know. I'm wondering if it'll read the Amiibo figures, which is basically Nintendo's answer to Infinity and Skylanders. What's keeping the software folks from using that NFC communication? Because it's the same technology. What's keeping them from using that to be able to play Skylanders on here, or Infinity? Except for the fact that the idea with Infinity is you leave it on and you put it on and you leave it on. So that's going to be a problem with this. But the way it reads is in the middle of the sensor. Here, let me go on screen. Here we go. In the middle, right about here, is the pickup center, where you could take, if you have an Amiibo, you stick it on there, and it reads it. So I'm hoping that the Infinity folks decide to take advantage of that and make it to where you could play, or the Infinity or Skylanders. I played Skylanders for a while. I kind of lost interest in it. Infinity's still got my hopes up. So I may check that out. I'm hoping they come out and take advantage of it.
Okay.
It still plays regular DS games. You don't get to take advantage of any networking functionality that's in the old chips because the old chips still are limited to WEP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I discovered it will do It'll do WPA for your network, which is nice because I could finally put this thing on my network, which is another selling point. The old ones I couldn't.
Okay.
But it has to be AES. It will not do TK/IP encryption.
Huh. Okay.
So I mean, I had to go into the browser or into the router and reset it
And
from
reset it.
TK/IP to AES in order for these things to get online.
Gotcha.
But they're online and there's a lot of stuff to it. The other advantage on the new ones, and I don't know if it's an advantage so much as, well, it is and it isn't. On the old 3DSs, there's the SD card is on the side here, and you would put, a full size SD card in there. The new ones take advantage of the micro SDs, and they're under this plate. To get to them, you literally have to take 2 screws out, pop the plate. There it is.
Right.
I see that as an advantage. I mean, no, you can't hot swap them, but you're not supposed to be hot swapping them anyway.
If anything, that confirms that it's going to be more secure there. It's not going to just pop out.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about it falling out. Not that you really had to worry about it falling out previously, but
True.
It's a smaller form factor. It's easier to fit in there. It's more secure.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, it only reads up to, it officially only reads up to 38. There are supposedly hacks out there that can, if you can somehow get it formatted FAT32, which is supposed to cut out way before then anyway, you can break up a 128 into 3 sets of 32 and have it read.
Okay.
Supposedly.
So there's always options out there. We'll see what happens. I know with the original, DS, they had the R4 chip out there, so modders love to mess around with these things. So I remember.
Well, exactly, and it's only, I mean, it's a software update.
Exactly.
I mean, this thing came out Friday, and it already had a software update when I brought it home and hooked it up. So it's gonna be there. Eventually, it's gonna get to the point where it'll read them. I'm sure. It's just gonna be a software update by Nintendo. They're gonna push it out, and it'll start reading it. So if you're in the market, if you don't have one and you're in the market, I say it's worth it.
Once I get paid, I'll definitely be in the market. So we'll get to that point. Let's get that first part taken care of, and then yes, we'll look at that.
Well, if you do, Theater Rhythm has a competitor mode.
Ooh, very nice. That's tempting. Anything else, or use the focus mostly
That's
on
pretty
that?
much it for. I mean, as far as beyond that, I've been working on that project that I was telling you about.
Right.
That I can't talk about publicly yet. I'm sorry, guys.
Not yet, but it is awesome.
Soon, in a couple weeks. That's been sucking all my time.
Gotcha. No worries. For me, there was a movie, Kingsman. I'll get to that in just a second. But I do have to apologize to you, Michael. The series you told me time and time again to watch, and it took me forever to finally say, okay, fine, let me watch one episode. So last Monday, I think it was, Monday or Tuesday, I watched the first episode of Blacklist. Since I am now current.
Marathoned it.
I've marathoned 33 episodes between now and then. Or between then and now.
And?
Amazing.
I thought so.
It is a ton of fun. Some of the tech stuff you ignore, you just move forward, just enjoy it for the story. And the story is good.
Yeah, some of the tech's a little out there, but you expect that for TV.
For TV, yeah. But yeah, I am now caught up as of last Thursday, so.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, you're actually ahead of me because I'm short. That's the one episode I haven't seen Thursday's episode.
Gotcha.
Yet.
Okay. But yes, it is a lot of fun, enough for me to actually spend all that time catching up in like less than a week.
And Spader's performance is phenomenal.
Oh, amazing. Well, he's always been a phenomenal actor.
Although the thing with Lizzie, I was talking with Shadar about this, and I kind of agree with her. The whole "we're done" thing is getting old.
Yeah, they have to find something new to throw in there.
You know, it's right. It's right up there with a certain former anime show's host who was fond of saying "fabulous" all the time, or no, gorgeous. I'm sorry, it was gorgeous.
Yes.
You know, they need to find something new.
Yes. But yeah, the action, well done. It's very well produced. I'm enjoying the storylines. The dialogue's great. Some of the one-liners that Spader's character says is fantastic. Also, when a character needs to die, they just die. There's no long extended
there's none
bit.
of this. Yeah.
It's great. I'm a fan of it. I'm glad that I finally got around to watching it. I'm just mad at myself that it took so long to get around to it.
So you need to have more faith in my ability.
I do have faith in you.
I'm now 2 for 2 with you.
Yeah, I know you are. I just need to find one now for you to watch that you haven't yet. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, getting to the big one, Kingsman. Saw that last night.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fucking shit! It is an amazing movie. I will say this, like I said in the pre-show, it is the most beautifully choreographed violence I have ever seen in a movie in some period.
Like better than Jackie Chan choreography?
There is a scene that's about 7 minutes long that is so, it looks so chaotic and out of and unscripted, but thinking back on it, it was so expertly choreographed chaos, so violent and yet so impressive of what happens in that scene.
Okay.
My jaw was on the ground, and
Cool.
literally at the end of it, there was a period of silence. And usually you hear people start talking, in the audience and whatnot. No, dead silent. Everyone's just like, did that just actually happen?
Nice.
Kind of thing. It was incredible. In terms of like an adaptation to the comic, it is by no means a straight adaptation. This was taking Mark Miller's work and adapting it to it's by the same director and the same writer from Kick-Ass.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. Matthew Vaughn. There is no one on the market today right now that showcases an action film like Matthew Vaughn right now, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know how Kick-Ass got, took like the seedy underside of actually trying to be like a superhero and whatnot, and some of the violence inherent with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now push that into the spy genre. It basically takes a story you would expect out of like James Bond, including some of the tropes and the double crosses and whatnot, but it does it in such a flavorful style that it is so enjoyable from start to finish. There's never really a single moment where you're wondering what, why they include this scene, because every scene had purpose, for me at least.
Cool.
It worked very well. They shoved a lot into a 2-hour time frame, and it worked.
I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
I was never bored for a moment. Samuel L. Jackson is amazing. You take any quintessential Bond villain and throw him into modern times. Not like the super serious Bond films we're seeing as of late, but take like something from like the old school like 60s and 70s Bond films and try to
like the Blofelds.
Yeah, you try to throw them into like a modern take, and Sam Jackson pulls that off perfectly.
Nice.
Action's top notch, like I said. Just go see it. It's so good. I will definitely be going to see it again. So
sounds awesome.
But yeah, between Blacklist and Kingsman and Valentine's Day, that's pretty much been my week. So
me as well.
So we've had that's a very packed episode.
Indeed.
So should we add anything else, or should we wrap it up at that point?
I think we should wrap it at that point, my friend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much, as always, too, for hanging out with us. We will be back next week. We'll have some news next week regarding what to expect or not to expect in March, as we've stated before. But yeah, we will be back next week. Stay tuned for a short post show. And yeah, From My Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
I am Michael.
And we will see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.